Welcome to Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. Last time Texas played Michigan, the 05 Rose Bowl. The very next game was the Fiesta Bowl. This was 20 years later, and it was the first game since Kyle Whittingham had been named head coach at Utah. He's still here. 10 straight winning season. It is a dynasty here for the Utes, and right now in college football playoff position at 11. Jason Benetti, Brock Heward, Allison Williams downstairs. How does he do it for this long?
Well, we love being here, and he's an anchor in a sea of instability of college football. He does it because he knows exactly what he wants, how to recruit them, how to develop them, how to grow them. And then like a year ago, where they were ravaged by injuries, he went a little new school. He took it easy on the veterans, and in particular his quarterback, because Kyle Whittingham knows to get to a playoff this season, Cam Rising's got to be available. And when Cam's available, they win conference championships and they go to Rose Bowls. It'd be a little more than that this season with the new 12-team playoff. But he is also, just like Kyle, he is just aligned. He knows how to play the game with toughness. He knows how to elevate everybody around him. And after 7 years and sitting with him this week, he wants it more than ever.
Now for Baylor, the hallmark for Dave Aranda has been his defensive mind. He's calling plays now again.
Yeah, he's got to carry both, and there's no one else in college football doing it. And it is a heavy, heavy weight to be the head coach and the defensive coordinator. But when you're 3-9 and you win one game the year before, Jason, the pressure is on. As he told us yesterday, with 22 transfers, it feels like I'm a part of Last Chance U. We got to make it happen and make it happen this season.
Tough place to do it. One of the loudest venues in college football, Rice-Eccles Stadium. Baylor deferred, and off we go. Two Big 12 teams, but it is a non-conference game because it was previously scheduled, and Utah has it first, and here's Allison Williams.
Last week we saw Cam Rising's impressive return against Southern Utah. It had been over 600 days since he took the field following a knee injury. But today against Baylor, the level of competition and physicality gets turned up a notch. So it is imperative that Rising finds that balance between utilizing his skill as a runner and avoiding unnecessary contact. Offensive coordinator Andy Ludwig told us he is constantly drilling that into his quarterback. His job is to protect the ball, the team, and himself. But Rising says it is not in his nature. He knows he has to do it. But if he sees that sliver of space, he wants to try and fight for that extra yard. He has to be smart today.
Allison, thank you. That will come up at some point today. His first throw is out of a clean pocket. It's to the sideline, and Dorian Singer is setting up second down and short. Offensive line, very tough, including Mike Mokafisi at the right guard spot.
Yeah, he's the juice and the energy. Two young guys on the edges had a hard time certain times against Southern Utah a week ago. And on the perimeter, so many different weapons. Brant Keithy, 3 first-half touchdowns last week. And like his buddy Cam Rising, he too has endured injuries in his 7th year and wants to leave a mark.
Saw the backfield, Dijon Stanley, who was the wheel route king last week against Southern Utah, has checked in, a very explosive young back. And there's a marker in. We see for the first time our referee, Tuta Salah.
False start, number 55, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
It's on the former left tackle, now right tackle, Spencer Fano. Here's the Baylor defense. What are you watching from them today?
Well, that nose tackle, Land's got a big job. He cannot be blocked one-on-one. He plays right over the center. He's got to win double teams. Randolph is he's 6'8" with like NBA arms, and he is so long. And that's a fast secondary. And Aranda said if we can't cover and trust those guys to cover outside, it's going to be a long afternoon. They like their team speed.
Second down and longer. And it's a give. It is Stanley into the secondary. He's chopped down at the 42-yard line.
Well, what did I just say about that nose tackle? He can't be blocked one-on-one, and watch the center and him go after it. A terrific job opening that lane. There's our guy, Mokafisi, getting to the second level. He loves to play ball. You'll see 4 running backs for Utah today in a variety of different ways. Stanley, as you said, the wheel king. That play used between the tackles, monster.
He's out now. Mekhi Bernard, the senior, has been through so much in this program. Play action for Rising. It's a deep ball. Middle of the field. Cam Rising incomplete for Singer. A lot of air under that ball, Brock.
Wow, you could not have thrown that ball better. A corner route and a post route getting on top of the safety, and it was an inch away. I mean, he let that thing go. I love how Singer tries to keep his feet right there. A lot of receivers, Jason, would just dive for it, lose control. He wanted to catch and run for 6, did the veteran. Just inches away, and that little head shake, he knows it.
He was a breakout star at Arizona, then transferred to USC, and now here to Utah. It's Bernard to set up 3rd down and long. Let's take a look at our Get More game plan, sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico.
Ultimate team game, but you got to win one-on-ones for Baylor. That's nose tackle center. That's corners on the perimeter. That's edges on these tackles. And for Utah, really control the edges. Dave Aranda calling those signals. You see it. There's nobody else in the game of college football doing both. Kyle Whittingham said, I would not want that duty. Hard enough to just be a head coach. To do both, a really tall task. But 3rd downs in Aranda's career has been where his defenses have shined.
They did just check in the tight end, Dallin Bentley. This has become tight end U here in Salt Lake City. Rising, bailing, throwing near side, and incomplete. Some contact there, but no flag. Simpkins on the coverage of Brant Keithy, one of those tight ends.
Yeah, there were guys kind of falling down all over the place. Actually, the nickelback on Keithy fell down, was not the primary read for Cam Rising, but that's good. If Baylor can get Utah to 3rd and 5+.
Yeah.
Win an early down or 2 and get to 3rd or 5+. They got enough speed to complicate this offense.
And let's be clear, Dave Aranda got the Baylor job because of the genius that he was calling plays at LSU. So he adds big-time value. There's a fair catch for Josh Camera. The Baylor offense will have it when we come back. And we'll take you to break with our game flow, sponsored by Progressive. Fox College Football is sponsored by Bank of America. What would you like the Power to do? It is a steamy day in Salt Lake City, and DeQuan Finn, the transfer from Toledo, last year's Mid-American Conference MVP out of the west side of Detroit, can pass and run, Brock.
Run. That will be the key today, young man. Some design QB runs. You're going to see some new little wrinkles. Jake Spavital didn't show a week ago, where they were pretty vanilla in their opener. Productive, but basic, and can't be today against an exotic defense.
Led by Morgan Scalley, longtime coordinator and coach in waiting here at Utah. Richard Reese, who has great speed, has a couple of yards on 1st down. The Baylor offensive line, how do they deal with the physicality?
You just got to go right through them. I bet he on the transfer from Montana State, the right guard, the most physical of that bunch. Got to play more physical than they did a week ago. And Presley's one of those one-on-one guys I talked about. They're going to create matchups for him. He's got to hit home runs.
11 guys were involved in the pass game last week. They'll go with the end around here. Ashton Hawkins is bottled up and slung down. He was drilled by Teo Johnson, a loss of 1.
Well, these Bears are going to learn really quickly in this building. You cannot move laterally and waste space. You have got to, if there is a crease, get north and south and what's there, because if you do this, look at the number of Utes that are going to be fast flow. DNs, linebackers, safeties. In that case, Johnson.
How do they deal with Finn's running in a play like this?
Well, this is where you got to be real careful if you're Morgan Scalley. You better have a spy. You better have eyes on the athletic quarterback.
Utah shows 6 at the line. 2 drop back. It's a quick throw, and this goes rolling out of bounds. They'll call it incomplete for Jamal Bell. 4th and 8, and this Utah defense, which was under 30% conversion against on 3rd down last year, does hold the line, and these ends are special.
Ends are special. The inside guys. Tafuna's been a 3-time all-conference, but Tanavasa is coming. Is going to be a great one. Reed's a monster. Barton is healthy at 6'4" and 235. And then the secondary is going to move different pieces around today. Snowden can play nickel. He can play corner. The loss of Keenan Johnson is real, but there's a lot of versatility on the back end.
There's a left knee injury in week 1 for Utah for Keenan Johnson in that secondary, as Palmer Williams just got it away. Micah Pittman on the return after a 57-yard punt. It was pretty returnable, and he's just short of the 45-yard line. We told you 605 days between passes and trips onto the field for Cam Rising. He's got the offense and the steering wheel after this.
And it's like you're a fighter pilot. You get this great fighter jet, and it's all this all this stuff, and it's got all these weapons, and you get to fly the thing. But there's people out there that want to kill you, you know? And so, like, you get to fly it, but you don't want to die. So that's how I feel about calling plays. I feel that.
Brock?
Yeah.
I love talking to Dave Aranda, to be
Yes.
very clear. He is one of the most cerebral, interesting, great analogy drawers in college football as Dorian Singer makes the catch. But he's changed this year, Allison.
Yeah, he might have felt like a fighter pilot after that first game, but he told us yesterday now he's a computer. He said, I'm less of a human. I'm a machine. It's all football. People will call him. They want to, shoot the breeze, connect with him on a human level. And he's like, guys, don't you know? I'm a computer now. I don't have time for anything but football. But Brock, you told us the time constraints are different when you're calling a defense versus an offense, right?
Yeah, huge, Allison. And you could see the marks a season ago not good enough. And defenses have to react. So you spend so much more time. It's why there's so many more offensive play callers as head coaches. They get to dictate, not the defense.
Cam Rising flicks it over the middle. He's got a first down to Dallin Bentley.
Such a nice job by Fano and Mokafisi here, the right guard and right tackle. Baylor runs a little stunt. Those two pass it off. And Cam Rising has time and space around him, Jason, as he did a week ago. Obviously a different opponent, but he has got more weaponry than he's ever had. Even in the Rose Bowl years, he's got 6 tight ends. He's got 4 running backs. He's got receiver transfers with all different skill sets. With time, he's going to be potent.
6 tight ends is not an exaggeration. It's a very deep room as Bernard meets the contact, and he's twisted down. Keaton Thomas was in there. Bentley, who just had the catch for Utah, played 5 snaps in high school. That's it. But they just churn guys out like Sione Vaki last year, just out of nowhere becomes a running back. You see what the tight ends have done since 2019 here, including Dalton Kincaid and Cole Fotheringham.
Yeah, and Keithy's a tight end and always been a tight end, but Loner, the transfer, has been a basketball player. Bentley, as you said, played hardly any high school football. Suga Taranga was a DN that flipped over. It's called development and putting guys with their body types in the best position for success.
Loner is in the game, the former Baylor basketball player. He's in to block, and this throw is gummed up. Money Parks was the target, and a marker comes flying in, and rightfully so.
You can't do that?
You can't, Caden Jenkins. You can't. Thank you for asking.
I don't think we have to go to Blandino on that one.
I don't think we do. Dean.
Pass interference, number 8. Defense. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Yeah, that's pretty easy to see. Again, man-to-man coverage. They're going to be in one-on-one situations and just all over him. Never lets go. Totally impedes the route. And Cam sees it. It's one-on-ones, Jason, all over the field. They are going to put enough hats, Dave Aranda is, around the line of scrimmage to make them beat them through the air. And Caden Jenkins got to be sharper than that.
Big Noon is the most watched window in college football, but this is the only window where somebody will draw infinity with the telestrator. First down for Utah from the 28 of Baylor.
And beyond.
Stanley is in along with Bernard, and they will fake it to Stanley. Money Parks the other direction. There's a marker in. It's a touchdown for now for Money Parks. It's way back there, though.
Well, I think this is going to stay a touchdown. I think the nose tackle tried to hold.
Holding, number 98. Defense. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Boy, Stanley on tape creates some chaos there with what he did explosively last week. They use him to get it to Parks.
I told you, they got more weapons than they have ever had before. I got to watch Thursday's practice, saw a lot of this. A lot of the horizontal movement with all the different pieces. Keep those defenders who are fast flow on their heels, looking left, looking right. And then you're right, Money finds pay dirt.
Senior Money Parks makes it 7-0 Utah. Boy, this team 8-5 last year with all the injuries. If they stay healthy, look out, Big 12. Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. 7-0 Utah. Utes score on their second possession, and our scoring summary sponsored by Modelo. Now recruiting full-time fans. Please drink responsibly.
We were here a year ago when Andy Ludwig had to deal with a lot of injuries. Quarterback turnover, no Cam Rising, kind of in and out each week. He calls him, well, he doesn't call himself this, but Dave Aranda says he's also a supercomputer.
He's the only guy that doesn't have a computer in the picture.
He processes the game incredibly fast. He sets his guys up for success. And you know what? Those two were on staff together way back when in Wisconsin for a couple years. Dave Aranda knew what he was up against. And this is poor Devin Bobby right here. Not to single out just one guy on this play, but look at all of this motion and the movement and the fake reverse. And poor Devin is caught. Where is the ball? Just where is that ball? That ball is actually turning around, going the other way. Andy Ludwig puts guys in positions for success as well as anybody in college football. And as I said, he's got more chess pieces this year than I think he's had in recent time. When healthy, it'll be fun to watch him over the course of this season.
Dave Aranda even said it. Andy, one of his hallmarks is guys are on the field for a reason. Everybody has a reason. Ben gets hit. Ball is loose, and it's kicked around. Still on the ground. There are 4 Utes on it. Eventually, Connor O'Toole blew it up.
Recovered by the defense. First down, Utah.
You know what you got to do, Jason, against Utah? You got to block their ends.
Dude.
And that ball, because of the noise, is snapped a little bit early. And Kelsey Johnson, that's his responsibility as he's coming across the formation. But because the ball snapped early, O'Toole, former trackster, former wide receiver, knows how to turn a corner, puts his helmet right in the back at DeQuan Finn, and Finn saying, what just hit me?
As a quarterback, do you sense it coming?
Not like that. There are times when you're holding the ball in the pocket from snap to contact. Was that even a second?
No. First and goal, Utah. Bernard, the tailback. Rising, end zone, and a tackle. That's Devin Bobby.
Oh, Devin.
Pass interference, number 3, defense. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
You can see Singer's jersey, the recipient of that tackle that you mentioned. Cool little route and concept. Singer, again, one of those guys you bring in, unbelievable route runner. Right at Arizona, at SC, and you'll see him right to the top of the screen. The hold, just trying to rip the waistband. He tackles the top. Utah's got him in a bind right now.
Out of the eye, rising on the roll, drops it off. Easy walk-in touchdown, Mekhi Bernard.
That supercomputer up in the box with the guy on the field that's played for 7 years is getting to offense that Baylor just cannot keep up with. Look at the eyes here at the second level. And look at the linebackers and the responsibility, the play action, and there's just flat out nobody. There is too much volume, too much execution and attention to detail, and Baylor right now is swimming defensively.
Think about what Mekhi Bernard has been through. He missed 11 games last year. He thought about leaving football. He said he played in the bowl game just so he could prove to everybody that he could come back. Now he's in the end zone, and the defense got him there. Oh, yeah, there is trouble on the way. Come around tonight. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. Just like that, it is 14-0 Utah, in a place that usually under the cover of darkness is even more difficult to play in, but the defense has been a yikes so far.
Yeah, you do not want to fall behind in this building. Your only chance you have is to stay even. It's why they're 32-2 And when you become one-dimensional, you play right into Morgan Scalley and that defensive group's hands.
They've only lost 37 times here ever in the history of the building. On the return, Jamal Bell across the 20-yard line. And part of this 14-0 start spearheaded by Cam Rising. It's a 7-year journey from Ventura, California to Texas. Look how young he was, huh? How about that? This is what happened in the year 2018, just in case you'd forgotten. I know you were locked into the royal wedding, Brock Huard. Now he's 25 years old. He is the oldest starting quarterback in the FBS, and the transformation is real.
He's seen some things.
He's seen a lot of stuff. But talking to him about growing up as the youngest brother in the household and just battling in the driveway lined by bricks to play basketball, and the toughness he's had to show is really impressive as Pendergrass goes down to the turf. It's a loss of 1.
Oh, Jason, I got to just say.
What do you got?
My favorite name in college football. Simone Peppa back in the house. A little line stud from 77 right in the middle. Tafuna and Peppa. Yeah, they got a lot of those guys through the years. Monsters of mayhem right in the middle. Peppa been a bit banged up. When he's right at 340, you don't run between the tackles. Samote Peppa.
Where is he on the Scoville scale? Past Cayenne. 2nd and 11 for Finn on the throw. Get him an easy one there. It's Monterey Baldwin who's twisted out of bounds. The senior out of the state of Texas. They just need a first down.
Yeah, I mean, this is just hypercritical. And Morgan Scalley loves third downs. He loves looking, and look at his eyes. He is watching the formation, the personnel, the tendency, and then the whole group looks to him, and he signals on third down. Look at them all. They're all looking at that sidelines. What kind of mastery do we want to get to? What kind of confusion can we come up with on third down?
Here comes O'Toole again. Pocket collapses. Finn steps up and throws a laser, and this is eventually caught and out of bounds. Trigg ended up with it on the deflection from Jackson.
Yeah, and Finn is saying, darn it. That was going to be a catch. He is throwing to Trigg, but unfortunately, Ketron Jackson in front doesn't know it. Because he can secure it.
The foot was on the sideline maybe when he first caught it.
The toe, the foot.
The toe. And you watched Thursday night?
Oh, yeah, everybody did. That was going to be a catch. Unfortunately, Ketron Jackson making the extra effort, batted that ball up, and the third down they needed, all for naught.
Micah Pittman at the 12. Gives a little ground. Tries to find the edge. Was that a clean block is the question. And he ends up with maybe 3 yards, a net of 56. Next week starts Saturday strong with Big Noon Saturday. Jalen Milroe and number 4 Alabama take on Wisconsin in a huge SEC Big Ten clash. It all starts 10 a.m. Eastern. Big Noon kickoff live from Madison. Then Alabama-Wisconsin at noon on Fox. Huge game in the college football landscape.
And we saw a little SEC Big Ten in Ann Arbor. That didn't go too well.
No. See all the conference championships for Utah.
It's done well here.
Yeah, Rocky Mountain Conference to the Big 7. Just keep changing leagues and winning. Bernard on the run straight ahead. The Utah offense with and without Cam Rising last year, obviously they had some success. Bryce Barnes, the offense was okay. Vaki added, but Rising has an effect.
Well, there just was not an identity. You played multiple quarterbacks. You're searching for any answers you can. You couldn't pass it efficiently. And I was taking a look at Cam's wristbands.
Yep.
This is NFL stuff. We don't talk about Cam Rising, the cerebral guy. We talk about the competitor and the veteran. The dude is smart as a whip, and this is a voluminous playbook.
They had Stanley and Bernard in the backfield. They're going to lose 5.
I'm talking NFL.
Really?
Alerts, checks, so much checks in the run game.
False start. Offense. Multiple players moved, but the center did not snap the ball. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Jaron's like, okay, well.
His family's in the stands like, why you got to do that to me?
Yeah, why? They
We can all
moved.
see it. How do you know who was right or wrong?
But to the point about Andy Ludwig, though, I mean, you see Bernard and Stanley together in the backfield. There's a lot of convenience and creative ability here. Rising, scanning, and climbing the pocket, avoiding contact and driving the legs all the way across the 35-yard line. Finally collapsed on by Thomas. There are the wheels.
Yep, there's a little risk reward for 25. The pocket breaks down. A good little game there from Baylor, no problem. And he shows that little cut right there, man. He has always been so nifty. Remember a couple years ago in this building with Caleb Williams, obviously an extraordinary athlete. They went toe for toe.
Yep.
Yard for yard, not just through the air, but his ability to get big plays, chunks on the ground game. Another asset to this offense.
It was an ACL, an MCL, a meniscus, another ligament, the MPFL. Here's a throw sideline. That's a wide open Money Parks wheeling across the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 36.
Well, this is pretty beautiful, and they got it rolling. How about a little double move? We've seen just about everything, right? Little out route. I got that. Oh, no, you don't. I mean, just the eyes are being lost all over the place defensively. This feels like last week against Southern Utah with the amount of space and open receivers just dropping it in.
How about the ball?
Perfect.
Mekhi Bernard weaving his way across the 25. Reminder, these are two Big 12 teams. This is not a conference game, though. They played in Waco last year. Utah won by 7. Since it was previously scheduled, the conference said, you guys do this. It doesn't count in the conference standings. But it does count in the college football playoff mindset.
No
and
question.
Utah at 11 has aspirations, certainly.
Looks like Money Parks over there on the sidelines getting tended to a little bit. It is hot, by the way. Did not mention that.
How hot?
Well, I wore my T-shirt to the field pregame for a reason, like 90 degrees plus hot.
It is a scorcher. They will run again. And Bernard setting up 3rd and 1.
You know what's interesting, Jason? One of the advantages that an Andy Ludwig has, even compared to the NFL, when I say this is an NFL volume playbook for Andy Ludwig, again, right there, doesn't need the lamp today on a scorcher. The NFL, you don't have 6 active tight ends. You don't have 4 active running backs. You don't have 8, 9 receivers. He has so many different tools in the tool bag. And in the red zone has been awesome. Here's some of your checks. This is a double check there.
Mitchell is in, one of those tailbacks we're talking about, and the freshman has a first down.
Matt Rule last week after a Nebraska game, his favorite play for Dylan Raiola, not a touchdown pass. It was when he triple checked. When he did as a freshman in game 1 what Cam Rising does 7 years in. You call the first play, right? It's a dummy call to see what they're going to get into, if they're going to stem, if they're going to show you. And then all of a sudden they show that front and you get to the play and the technique you want. As Money Parks still looking a little bit gassed, and Aranda put the spectacles on, trying to find an answer on that call sheet.
It's a lot of artillery to deal with.
And there's 3 straight runs, and typically what comes off that action?
Play action. Lohner is in, the former Baylor basketball player. They'll throw that direction, incomplete. They wanted to get a touchdown for Scott Drew's former player.
He got one last week in his very first game, and you can see the defense there. That's a true freshman at 6'1", Coleman. You get exactly what you want, the one-on-one. And in time, Lohner's going to go up with 2 hands. Like, don't go up with 1 hand. An alley-oop, you can go flush it with 1 hand. But this one, like a rebound, go up with 2 hands. In time, they will continue to develop that.
He always thought, what if? What if I played football? What if it might be able to happen? And he found a home here at Utah in a loaded tight end room. Mitchell, another run behind this line, and he is drilled and driven back. And Steve Linton, yikes.
Yeah, he's
wow.
He's picking up the pieces. Is that jaw pad that came out right here on the edge? Listen to this.
Look at him shed Keefe there.
That's 6'5", 237, and that's a one-on-one. Like you've got to shed that tight end, set an edge so the rest of the boys can come running. You paid for it.
3rd and 8 with Stanley in. They'll look him off, throw a screen the other direction. It's a completion, and Singer gets belted after a gain of 1.
I think that was my guy, Garmin Randolph. Coverage on the backside of this here. A little screen, they motion away, but you see the 3-over-2 and then the pursuit, and ultimately, it was the 6'8" shoulder of Randolph that slows him down enough. So the rest of the guys can finally get a stop here that Baylor really needed.
Especially with getting the ball after halftime, if you can keep it close. Cole Becker, the former Colorado Buffalo, sends it through. You mentioned the Wisconsin connection between the two computers, Dave Aranda and Andy Ludwig. You don't even have to use your telestrator. We're going to show them to everybody at home with our own line here. But they have
how young they were.
I know, right? They have such a high regard for each other, but they know very closely. Like, we talk to a lot of coaches, Brock. A lot of this discussion that we have in meetings is, what's the psychology of the other guy?
Yes.
What do they do? They know very intimately what
Correct.
each is going to do.
Yep, and they tangled with each other through the off seasons and spring ball and fall camp, and they're both very aligned, man. They are football guys. Now, Dave Aranda's a head coach. Ludwig kind of reminds me of two guys that I was around in the NFL a little bit, Monty Kiffin and Tom Moore.
Okay.
And you know what they both realized? We're not head coaches. You know, Andy Ludwig has realized over the last decade, like, I'm a coordinator. I'm a supercomputer. I'm a guy up here that loves the environment of the press box, so I can just do what I do best, put my guys in positions for success.
Well, look, that's in vogue in college football. Chip Kelly has made it so that is a totally fine thing to do, to say, I'd rather call plays. I'd rather diagram.
I know who I am.
Yes. Bell will wave it off. Okay, so it's 17-0. Baylor obviously had a great offensive showing last week against Tarleton State. What do you do?
Well, we talked to Jake Spavital, the creative play caller for Baylor, who has tangled with Morgan Scalley 3 times and knows, in this first quarter showing it, I don't get many bites at the apple. You don't get many plays against this defense. And I got to empty it early. I'm not saving anything. So he told us about QB run. I think it's probably time. You've got to do something against Morgan Scalley with Finn's legs. Maybe a little speed option, maybe a little power read run. But you've got to get one of your more dynamic, maybe most dynamic player in Finn involved in this game against Morgan Scalley.
They've only run 7 plays. Utah's run 10 plays in Baylor territory. This is Reese, and he snakes to the 31. Snowden on the stop, the versatile defensive back. Well, pace here from Baylor. Reese again, door number 2. O'Toole goes low and gets the stop. It'll be 3rd down, and a key 3rd down, and we'll see if they run the play before the quarter ends. Would you?
No. Get away from those students as well if you flip the field on the other side.
Well, they're gonna. It's the speed option, and it's on the toss. Pendergrass, and there's a marker down. Didn't hear the whistle at first. It's very loud down there.
I said the students were down there.
Prior to the ball being snapped, Baylor takes their first charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds in length.
Okay, so that should put 1 second on the clock, you'd assume, right? You can't call a timeout at zeros.
Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1 second.
That's why we took all those clock operator classes in the offseason. Okay, so now you've seen the speed option here.
Correct.
Dave Aranda, as a head coach here at Baylor, had the great year. Go to the Sugar Bowl. Last couple of seasons have not been what he's wanted here in season number 5. But Big 12 Coach of the Year a couple years ago, we know about that defensive mind, Brock.
We do, and we played the fighter jet comments earlier, and we sat with Dave for a long time. And I think what he was sharing is you see him trying to figure out defense. Like, he got back turned to anything going on offense right now. He's in a place of tension. What he wanted to do was develop high school kids and graduate kids and all of these things. And he realized in today's college football, I got to go to the portal and bring in 22 guys to try to fix things that the development piece wasn't getting done enough.
His team's got to get to the 35. Last play, quarter number 1. They'll run it the other direction. It's Reese, and he's not going to get there. Teo Johnson spiked him down.
This is the end of the first quarter.
That was 10-8-2 coming out of the field safety position. And kind of like a week ago in this building, it's been all Utah. Showing the country you're worthy of that number 11 and maybe more.
Coach Whittingham, a strong start on both sides of the ball, but what's been the key to the early offensive success we've seen?
Cam Rising. I mean, he's a heck of a player. He's our leader, and when he's out there, everyone elevates, and that's what you're seeing. Defense had an opportunistic turnover down there, set them up on the 3-4 yard line. So playing good complementary football right now.
Kyle, thanks for the time.
You got it.
Allison, thank you very much. Rayshawn Glover on the return. They like his explosiveness, certainly. To the 33 off the 50-yard punt. It's been a long time since Kyle Whittingham was the co-head coach with our colleague Urban Meyer for that Fiesta Bowl. He got announced as the head coach in late 2004. Only Kirk Ferentz has been at his school for longer.
It's interesting looking at that list, isn't it? I mean, the first 4 guys know exactly who they are, what they want to do. Dabo does as well, and he's won more championships. He's the most esteemed on that list. But right now he's in flux. Right now his program and the portal and everything. Kyle's old school, but he's got new school. We'll talk about that in the training camp and the preseason and what he did and bringing the portal pieces in at the right time. He's evolved very well.
Bernard, the tailback, he evades 1 tackle and then goes down. It's a loss thanks to Kendrick Simpkins of 3. Allison?
Well, Whittingham knew he had to make some serious changes after last year when this team was just ravaged by injuries on both sides of the ball. And so in the offseason, they analyzed everything, they measured everything, and ultimately they changed everything from how they practiced. They went to more of an NFL schedule with more built-in off days, didn't hit as much. They eliminated a scrimmage, and he says by their measurements, they are 70% less injured, less of those soft tissue injuries. And that is imperative to start the season and throughout what will be a longer college football season if they make it to the playoffs.
Bernard, he's got a gash. Mekhi Bernard kept his feet just short of midfield. And not only are they healthy, but they just have depth they didn't have last year.
Well, this is just awesome. Watch the left tackle, Lomu, and then also watch Keithy to the front of the play. The double team right there at the point of contact with Matt Jones. I mean, Lomu, that left tackle is a redshirt freshman. He's 300 pounds, and he runs like a tight end. Keithy doesn't just catch touchdowns. He will also stick his face in there. They like these 2 young tackles. They are athletic, a little bit light, but man, can they move.
And Keithy told us about having to relearn how to walk and cut. And there you see him with a block like that. Down the middle, that's incomplete for Bentley. Ooh. Crowd didn't like it. Wow. Devin Lemieux says, what did I do?
Yeah, and he got hit early. This is one of those, and here's Lemieux. He is the boundary safety, and they go right at him. Again, a little corner, a post trying to attack that double team, and there was certainly contact early. Cannot go through. You can go to the ball, but you can't make that contact and go through the tight ends. The undersized Lemieux gets away with one that Baylor needed to get away with.
Bernard again cutting it upfield. And it'll be 3rd down. I mean, Mac Brown told us something similar last week about how he handled camp. Like, the seniors don't have to hit as much, especially for Kyle Whittingham, since you have a foundation of physicality.
Well, Jason, back in the day, in Kyle's day, they weren't called seniors. They were called PhD graduates after 7 years. So these are not 4th year, nor 5th year, nor even 6th year guys you're dealing with. Don James used to say, I win with 22-year-olds. Kyle's going to win with 24, 25, and beyond-year-olds.
Bernard shifts into the backfield.
Another check.
And out of that, 3rd and 7. Cam Rising dropped it off, and that is a huge hit by Reed on Mekhi Bernard to set up 4th down.
It's an excellent job by Reed. A little trap coverage right here. Look at the eyes. He knows he has help over the top, unlike the Ravens the other night, and he sees that little out route, and then he delivers a totally clean blow. You know what I like about this too, Benetti? He doesn't go for the legs. He goes right for the ribs. You go for the legs, you blow guys' knees out. You can't go for the head, it's a penalty. That is textbook tackling from Reed to go right through the rib cage.
Big stop for Baylor there, just to hang around, especially again getting the ball back after halftime. Everybody froze, and then Bomeister, the former cricket bowler, just improvised and pushed it into the end zone.
The former what?
I thought you hit pause on your clicker. Everybody froze. For the first time, Utah stopped today. Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. Baylor's longest play is 6 yards so far. They've given back 10 yards since the opening kickoff.
Yeah, the best play was right before the timeout. Unfortunately, a 3rd down conversion. But keep an eye right here to the field. Hal Presley, a one-on-one situation. Jake Spavital saying, I would like to get our big receivers some one-on-ones. He may have space to the top.
It's Reese trying to get outside, and he's tackled by the senior Correne Reed. 2nd down. You know, Dave Aranda, you were talking about the way he described being a coordinator and all the transfers. He said, look, I've been living in the world first as I thought it should be, and then the world as it is. Now I had to flip that, right? He's being more pragmatic, I think you could easily say from our discussions, but he said he's totally had to flip his thinking, and his offense needs a 1st down. 2nd and 8. It's a high pass. They're going to try and throw it. There's a marker down. It looked like they were going to set up shop for Hawkins to throw that ball, but he just ran with it. And there is a marker down as well.
It was an unbelievable catch on like a 99-mile-an-hour fastball.
That had arm side run.
DQ, just put a little touch on that one, make it a little easier.
Illegal formation, offense. There were more than 4 players lined up in the backfield. The penalty is declined. It's 3rd down.
Here's the throw.
This is like flypaper. Look at him stick his hand up right here. And wham! It doesn't have to be that difficult, but everything right now for the guys from Waco. Hard. In 3rd and 8. Not good odds.
Trig in motion. Finn will flow that way. Reese trying to deal with Fillinger, and that throw is incomplete. Van Fillinger sped up the timer, the senior defensive end, and the coverage was great.
Yeah, just some zone coverage. It's so hard pre and post snap because little triggers that are typically kind of man indicators with people running. Nope, not for Morgan Scally. He will disguise. He will put you in conflict before and after the snap. You mentioned Fillinger, who's finally healthy. He's chasing it down. Look at the pursuit of every Ute. A staple of this defense for decades.
Just so wild to say 4 decades about any team in the college football landscape, but this Utah team has been together as long as anybody.
This guy hits rockets.
Yeah, that was a missile, and it's going to end up going side saddle at the 2. Oh my goodness, what a punt. Parker got down there to touch up on it. That's a 76-yard punt. What?
Guys, can I have one?
Fox College Football is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. If you've not been to Salt Lake City, and specifically to a Utah football game, you should. It's a beautiful place, and you know, it is utterly superb.
You're really dangerous when Darren starts cutting the crowd.
Tricycle Stadium will move you could say.
Yeah, west of the Rockies. Otson's rocking Husky Stadium last couple years going, but this place, again, for decades getting it done.
Mitchell, the tailback, the block from Calderella, and he will be bottled up and driven back.
I will say this about Baylor's defense, Jason. There have been 3-4 times where we could hear from the booth, whether that's Keaton Thomas or Jones or Garmin. They are flying around. It's been some of the back end of that defense losing their eyes, but the guys around the line of scrimmage, they're doing what Dave Aranda wants them to do, run right through the face of your opponent.
All Big 12 player 2 years ago, Devin Lemire at the safety spot with a stop. After no gain, 2nd and 10. Right back to Mitchell, just tunneling through to set up a 3rd down and about 4.
Nice job there by Mokafisi and Kump, the center and right guard. As he is slow to get up, unfortunately.
And Mitchell is down. He was a 2,000-yard rusher in high school out of the state of Florida.
Hey, Ty.
He's in pain.
Timeout on the field.
We'll step aside for the injury to Mitchell. Falcon Kamatule and Miki Sugaturanga helping Mitchell off the field during the break. And you talk about team and love of teammate.
Yeah, and that's a 6-year player. That's a 7th-year player picking up a redshirt freshman. I think just another attribute you would have to say is just a familial nature here at Utah. Right? They really, everybody preaches that kind of culture and a family culture. They live it here. Big 3rd and 5, man. You got to pay off that 75-yard punt where you flip the field and maybe, just maybe, give your offense an opportunity if you can get off the field here.
They have Keithy in the slot at the top. He can be a matchup nightmare. Rising, looking that direction, now scanning, and he tries to squeeze through. He'll go down. Trevin Ma'ai, the transfer from Oregon, was in there. Noel and Randolph as well.
Your eye is exactly where the scheme went as well. Watch the kind of bracket coverage here. The linebacker underneath, the safety, the over the top. Kim was looking that way. You can see his eyes right there. Quickly comes off it. There's just nowhere to go, no escape valve. And Baylor indeed pays off that punt to flip the field. Gonna make something happen right now.
See what Bomeister has in store after a 76-yarder for Palmer Williams. This is back to the 36 and Cameron. Straight up the field. Cameron dancing to the 45. Let's go into the studio and check in with Mike Hill. Mike.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, Texas makes a huge statement against the reigning champs on the road, while Arkansas and Oklahoma State go down to the wire. And could number 8 Penn State avoid a major upset? Jason and Brock, they were down at the half. We'll tell you how it ended at the half. See you then.
A lot of close games in the early window today. Penn State had its hands full with Bowling Green.
So did Kansas State, so did Oklahoma State, so did a lot of folks. Can I find a one-on-one? Can I take a shot somewhere down the field? 4 3 and outs. You've got to get an explosive play.
By far the best starting field position for Baylor today, and it begins with Pendergrass just trudging forward for yards. He'll pick up 5, and the possessions are, to this point, ugly.
Yeah, the 4 3 and outs, the shot on 1st down right to the back now. Pendergrass, he is old school. Put a neck roll on him, and he could have played in the 80s as tailback.
Right back there. And he was hit low initially by Ritchie and finally tackled by Correne Reed. 3rd down and about a yard.
Yeah, 4-down territory, no question.
See if they go right back there. Ground game's been good. It's Finn on a throw near side. That's dropped by Monterey Baldwin. Incomplete pass. Not a fumble. It was a forward pass. Snowden was right there.
Sure was, and I think that's why it was incomplete. Same play. Could have handed it here. A little RPO. And the inside run game decides to pull it. Nowhere to run with Fillinger there. Nowhere to catch it with Snowden bearing down. And here indeed is that 4th and 1.
See if they run behind Yates, who is in motion. 4th down. Pendergrass does drive ahead for the 1st down. Tough run.
Yeah, the only way you block Samodi Peppa is with 2 guys, and they did. And 2 guys got just enough movement so Pendergrass can move the chains.
There was some movement on the line by Utah at the snap, trying to get set. Finn down the middle, and he missed. He wanted Jackson, and Teo Johnson will bask in the glow of the sunlight. 2nd and 10. Morgan Scally just zoned in.
He just prowls that sideline.
Local product, Highland High School. Used to have a bowl cut. Now he's just got a Utah hat. It's a toss. It's Dominic Richardson, the former Oklahoma State Cowboy. And he picks up 2. Correne Reed was there once again.
You can call him tight end you all you want. This is linebacker you. Been so many good ones they've churned out through the years. And these 2, and Barton and Reed, carrying on the legacy. They just run so well sideline to sideline.
And they're without Lavani Demooney, who was hurt before the season, who would have added some depth and some institutional knowledge. 3rd and 7. Baldwin in motion. It is Finn, and he goes down. Maybe 2. It'll be 4th down. Now do you take the points and try and make it a 2-score game?
I would. Yeah. I honestly would, but I think Dave Aranda's looking at the big picture, knowing, do you want to win? We want to just keep it close, or are we coming in here to win? Because field goals against Morgan Scally, you're not going to win. Not with the offense you're facing on the other side as well.
Got to get to the 23. There's movement at the line, and here comes the marker.
Yeah, that's a backup. That's Siraki in at left tackle.
Start. Number 74, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Yeah, Basile not in the game. I didn't see him go out, Jason, but that's Caden Siraki playing left tackle, and the noise cranks up on 3rd and 4th down. You could see you try to put the arm up for balance, but when you're 6'9", 317 going the other way, can't stop it.
It's the least penalized team in the Big 12 last year, even with all the losses. But now they will go from 50. Made the decision for him. Hankins had it blocked. Teo Johnson on the move. Fano and Fillinger got the hand on it to spring him free. Teo Johnson, touchdown. It happens fast at Rice-Eccles Stadium. That did not happen as fast as they wanted it to.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. Here we go. That will be the end of the line for that point after touchdown. Matt Jones ended up with it for Baylor.
Sometimes it's hard, Benetti, to see exactly who gets a hand on the ball, but you nailed that in real time. And your spotter, Andrew, put a gold star there as well, because it was right in the middle of the action. It was right next to the snapper. Bofano and Fillinger leap right to the side of him, and you could see the big tight end is behind it. I think Lohner's going to have a chance as well. He didn't even get that opportunity, as the two defensive ends at 6'5" get right in the face of the kicker, and that false start penalty hurts. I wonder if they call bingo on those kind of returns as well.
So the background on that is on the pick six, which Utah has had in 20 consecutive seasons to lead the nation. Morgan Scalley has everybody yell bingo to signal it's time to block. We're going the other direction, that we are in pick six mode.
Yep, same concept. Let's go. And once again, that's 10-8-2, Teo Johnson, that can flat out fly. And when you can give a high five coming down to the finish line, you know you're doing some things.
Baylor's gotten hit from all directions. Dean Blandino, what'd you see on that?
So looking at the players on the line of scrimmage, and that's the key. If you're stationary on the line, then you can jump across. If you're off the ball, you can't run up and leap and cross the line of scrimmage. So those players were okay. They were on the line. They jumped over and then ultimately made the block.
So Dean, you can even use the snapper there. You can put your hands on the snapper.
Yeah, can't use a teammate, but you can use the opponent to try to get through that or over that gap.
That's well done.
Great clarification. Thank you, Dean. Wow, 1999. It had been a long time since a blocked field goal touchdown, and that is just an engulfing by Lander Barton of Reese.
Yeah, those kind of plays just suck the life out of you. Right, you get a drive, you're finally going to get some points, and then it's just defeating. And then, well, once again, Peppa sets up Barton so he can just bring the hammer. I think that's the Forsimode Peppa reference I made in the first half of this game.
A little heavy on the Peppa. Second down. Finn has to just whip it free into the air, and it is batted away. There's a marker in. It looked like Gilman came in second on Presley.
Yeah, it's not often that you see, and you could see Scally screaming from the sidelines, that you see somebody behind the Ute defense.
Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
But that's
Teo Johnson.
Yeah, that's exactly what Presley does. And Morgan didn't like that. Like, you got to stay on top, deeper than the deepest. And you see Presley right here. I mean, he's got those two guys beat by 4 or 5 yards. And had Finn not had to chuck and duck, as you saw back there with the rush coming, have a chance.
Reese is doing everything he can in pass protection, but it has been a difficult day for him. Little high step, and then out of bounds, Jamal Bell. Here's what Morgan Scalley looked like.
Yeah, stay deep. Do you think he cares that it's 23-0? Do you think he cares that they've been suffocating? Absolutely not. Demands attention to detail on every single play.
Second and 9 against his defense. It's a run for Reese, and he is turned aside. Jonah Leah-Aya and Connor O'Toole. That's a freshman coming in. Leah-Aya out of San Mateo.
It's pretty good. It's called growing and developing them. Just like Connor Toole came in here as a receiver, and Morgan Scalley said, no, with your frame, you're going to be a D-end and a difference maker for me. Leah-Aya, just 260 pounds out of Bishop Gorman. No, in time, you'll be 290, and you'll just be a game wrecker like we churn out after 3, 4, 5 years of development.
Baylor's 0 for on third down. It's a keeper. It's Finn, and he's dropped by Lander Barton, who Morgan Scalley said, by the way, Kyle Whittingham, pardon me, said, yeah, Lander could probably be a great tight end if we ever wanted him to.
He could lose weight and be a safety. Yeah. He could be a D-end. He could do everything. And what's your analytics book here say on 4th and 3 down 23?
If you're not going to kick the field goal before the false start, you have to go for this one.
You think the students have any fun here at Utah? You think they like cheering on a team that, I mean, they stay healthy, Jason. This is feeling like a playoff contender.
Finn. Clean pocket. This is to the sideline and incomplete. The only guy nearby was Cameron Calhoun, and Utah takes over. He's happier now.
Yeah, Finn actually had a receiver's little corner stop route. He had him. But the challenge is when you just seeing a blur of everything in front of you. And he's like, this is just no fun. You're going to see the route here. He actually gets beyond the chains. And there's an opportunity right there. You see Hawkins show him his number. But from the pocket, that is not necessarily Finn's strength. That ball sails on him. And Utah in opportune field position. But Jason, this is like chaos. When it is spinning and you're like a pitcher that is just sped up, you can make that throw. Not sped up the way he's been in this first half.
That leaves Utah at the plus 47. Rising, wants to take a shot. Right down the middle, and he settles it in there beautifully to Carson Ryan, the UCLA transfer. Well, they are going to say incomplete. Ryan did not get the hands underneath. He reacted like he caught it. They're going to say incomplete. The ball did come out at the last second there. So 2nd and 10. Vincent, 6-year tailback, and it's 3rd and short. Allison.
Well, guys, kind of best case scenario. You saw that injury to Utah running back Mike Mitchell, and it looked pretty bad, but they actually got him here to the sideline, removed his left shoe, taped up his ankle heavily, put that shoe back on, and he's looking ready to get back out there.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow.
Is that a double wow?
It was. The way that looked?
Yes. That's also the 5th running back used today for Utah. Charlie Vincent, local boy from East High School, just a block away.
They get it off just before the 2-minute timeout, and Vincent does keep his feet for the first down.
This is the 2-minute
All
timeout.
Utah. Defense, offense, special teams, a whole kit and caboodle for the Utes so far. Fox College Football is sponsored by Burger King. Shimmering sunlight off the musical instruments here in Salt Lake City. The Utes 23-0 over Baylor, late 2nd quarter, and Utah driving again.
Kind of feels like it's getting this area of the field. Can I find Keithy? Miranda's looking at it. I love the glasses too. Is there, for Kyle Whittingham, is there a shot here to Dijon Stanley? Can I find a way to get Keithy? This is usually where the creativity comes to life here in the final couple minutes as well.
Rising has to bail fast that time. And he just wants to get rid of it. He took a shot out of bounds, just trying to make sure he didn't sack himself. Trevin Ma'ai got the hit, and the crowd is really unhappy. But what's the defensive lineman supposed to do?
I mean, he gets thrown into the cooler right here. This is Ma'ai, the transfer from Oregon a couple years ago, 290 pounds that can run. And watch this shove, and he just goes head first into. I mean, that's got a.
I believe they said he stepped out of bounds prior to throwing the pass, which would make it a sack.
No, ball is out before the pass. Does it get back to the line of scrimmage? Now, the contact starts outside. To be fair to Ma'ai,
that's what I was saying.
The contact starts outside the white. He is in bounds when he throws it. But that looked like WWE stuff. Thrown into the table in the coolers. And no one in this building likes any part of that.
Did you see an extra shot? Like, was there an extra push? Now they're going to throw a flag. Let's see what it's for. It's for grounding. All right, so there's a lot here, Dean Blandino. First, roughing the passer. Second, intentional grounding. Both of them. What do you see?
So looking at this, I do see Rising get rid of the ball before he's out of bounds. So it is a pass. He's out of the pockets. Then we've got to see, did the ball make it back to the line of scrimmage? Here, the initial contact to me is okay. It's this extension of the arms there, clearly out of bounds. To me, that's where the foul occurred. I know we didn't get a flag there. Initial contact, okay. And if he just lets him go at this point, but now it looks like he's going to extend the arms and shove him. To me, that's a foul.
Yeah, and Dean, don't you usually get the benefit of the doubt if it gets close to that marker, first down stick with that contact?
My only thought would be because
an incomplete forward pass is under further review.
Okay, they're going to look at it. But my only thing would be, because it happened so far into the bench area, maybe the officials didn't get a great look. They're looking through bodies, but that's clearly a foul.
And to be clear, that cannot be added with replay, yes?
No, that cannot. They could look at targeting, which this isn't. So I'm not sure what they're reviewing now, because I think we had a flag for intentional grounding.
Correct. Can
so
they review that? Dean, can they
review
that? Can they review? They cannot review that either.
They can give the officials information as to whether the ball made the line of scrimmage, and the line of scrimmage would extend beyond the sideline. And it looked like the ball did cross the line of scrimmage extended, so they can help with that.
Now Cam Rising is walking off. Isaac Wilson has a helmet. He's coming into the ball game. Dean, they can also look to see whether or not he got the pass off, right? They might look at that, although I thought it was pretty clear.
Correct. They can look at that as well.
However, the pass went beyond the line of scrimmage, so there is no foul for intentional grounding.
There you go.
The ball will be returned to the previous spot. It's second down.
Was that properly adjudicated on the, in terms of the use of replay, Dean? Was that properly done, you think?
It is. They can give that information. I'd prefer them just give it to the crew without having to go through a formal review. You can just say, hey, the ball made it to the line of scrimmage. But ultimately, it isn't grounded.
Well, and this is tough, too, because there's nothing Cam Rising can do there. When we talk about risk, reward, and no win, he did everything right. He got rid of the ball. But unfortunately, he gets shoved into those coolers, and by the looks of it, right, he's got the towel over his hand, right? I think his hand took the brunt of a lot of that force into that water cooler as well. No bueno for Utah, because here comes the true freshman.
Mr. Football in the state of Utah last year. Zach Wilson's brother, Isaac, on the field after some time against Southern Utah last week. This will be a run, and it's Stanley getting whacked after a couple of yards. There's a marker down as well back at the 39.
Holding, number 68, offense. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Well, this is great effort by Noel, the nose tackle. And sometimes those fronts, Jason, they can feel a true freshman in the game as well and crank it up a little bit. Elinus Noel, the transfer there from Texas Southern, just got onto the shoulder of Kump, the center, before he could keep a body on him and create now a 3rd and 20. You can kind of feel in the stadium, right, with Cam Rising going out.
It's a hush.
Yes.
Wilson hops into a throw to the sideline, incomplete. He wanted Money Parks, and it's Lorando Snacks Johnson on the coverage. Now what for Utah? Yeah, I think is what everybody here is asking.
Right.
What does this offense look like? I mean.
Yeah, and last week, Isaac got a whole half to play and kind of got thrown in there. There was some good, there was some bad, as you would expect. Andy Ludwig very clear. The volume that I talked about earlier shrinks significantly, as you would expect it to when a true freshman is running the operation and not the 7th-year senior.
Some loft on this ball and contact. It's on Jenkins again, and Singer's pointing right at him.
Yeah, you just got to know down a distance right there, Caden Jenkins. It's 3rd and
Pass
20.
interference, number 8, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I mean, he is a young puppy. He started as a freshman a bunch of games, but get deep. I mean, there is no reason on 3rd and 20 you would ever stop your feet and put yourself in that kind of position. Just a devastating, that's to me, I know it is a physical penalty, but to me, and you could see the conversation, the frustration on the sidelines, like, man, that is as much a mental error of not knowing down and distance and situation than it is anything else for Dave Aranda's defense.
Got a hustle here. Play clock just hit 0. That should be a delay of game. Will they get the timeout first? Yes. It's not a happy head coach.
No, that's not one that's you think is on the side of 23-0.
Utah takes their first charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
All right, let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life. Creating financial security for nearly 160 years. It's all Utah.
Yeah, just 1 of 7 for 5 yards. Wow, 17 total yards. Yeah, that sometimes a shutout of 0 is not representative of the stats. In this case, it is. But the biggest story right now, there is no question about it. I mean, you could feel Kyle's intensity. I think he's mad that that was not called as Cam Rising gets shoved. I mean, how far away are those water coolers from the white boundary, Jason? 10 yards?
And to be clear, the defensive lineman has the ability to make contact while he's in bounds.
Sure.
What we're talking about is the extra push.
Yes.
That's where the flag comes into play.
Yep. And that's where Dean Blandino said once those arms again get extended now. Again, it's hard sometimes for those officials to sift through all the chaos on the sidelines, but that's as big a story as anything that's happened in the first 30 minutes.
Brandon King in the ball game for Wilson, who rolls left and will run left. The initial contact by Ma'ai. Keaton Thomas got there as well. Second down.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the challenges for Isaac. A week ago, he ran a lot, and he is athletic, and he was the player of the year, and he is the younger brother of Zach, and there's a lot of talent to work with. But he took some shots a week ago, and he's going to feel a Big 12 defense in this front that has played physical. He too has got to learn to protect himself.
Going to throw it far side. And off the short set, it's a broken tackle by Bentley. The ball comes loose. They're going to say he's down. Bentley is down on the play. Timeout, Utah.
He's down here. He fights through that initial tackle. You'll see the elbow, the forearm hits. That's a body part down. Play is dead. Good call.
Yeah, the hand doesn't matter, but the elbow, forearm does, and then the ball springs free. 3rd and 6 for Isaac Wilson, and this is a different feeling than the high school championship in the state title, just slinging it around for Corner Canyon High School.
They know how to throw the rock. Corner Canyon, I believe, had a big win over IMG Academy a couple weeks ago. They have built a power here in Utah. They spread it, they throw it. And the Wilson crew, the Wilson family, Zach can spin a football. He was the number 2 pick in the draft. And Isaac equally knows how to throw that football. It's just all the rest of the game, this system, everything that's incorporated into it. An awful lot on the shoulders of a true freshman.
5,900 plus total yards as a senior, a state record for Isaac Wilson, who's got a 3rd and call it 6. Right down the middle, that was tipped. It's incomplete. Pittman was the target, and he had some room.
Nice job there. I think that's the 6-year senior, Matt Jones, that gets engaged with Togiai, but has enough awareness and timing to just get that arm up. This is the right read. He had the pressure, the blitz coming, throw into it. And Matt Jones says, yep, that's my pass breakup, and here comes a 45-yard attempt.
From Cole Becker, who made from 51 and a big kick against Florida last year. This one is on the way and no good. He wrapped it around, and so it remains 23-0.
Pretty good snap, good hold. Maybe you'd love to see the laces a little bit away, but That draw just did not quite come inside the foul pole.
Trying to bring it back.
He is. It's a weird vibe in here right now, right? 23-0, dominant. Kyle doing everything. Defense totally suffocating. And yet that injury, as Cam Rising is off of the field right now, and I'm sure being evaluated at halftime. Allison will do all she can to figure out what's going on. But man, did that take some of the air, some of the steam out of all the juice in this building.
One last touch for Baylor here. Look out. Finn has to dodge one. That was O'Toole again. And he'll just scramble out of bounds. Second down coming up. He's been under siege all day.
Yeah, that shot on, the second series of the game, when Connor O'Toole comes unblocked and you get hit between your shoulder blades, that leaves a mark.
Psychologically.
Physically, emotionally, psychologically.
Second and 3 throw to the sideline. That's his best throw of the day so far, and it's Hal Presley on a gain of 18.
A nice little concept into a very short field. You have actually 3 over 2 for Utah, but when thrown on time and with precision, you're now in Utah territory.
Baylor could really change this game with 6 somehow. 14 seconds. Finn, throw to Trigg, and he's out of bounds. They kill 5 seconds there.
6 would be ideal, even 3. Getting the ball to begin the second half, even just putting points and not seeing a goose egg would mean something running into halftime.
Second and 4. Over the middle, and man, that is just a huge hit on Presley. The ball came loose, a marker came in. Oh, Presley's all right. He just got sandwiched.
Yeah, that's going to be a targeting.
Like Alakai Gilman.
Defenseless receiver. The entire judgment here is forcible contact to the head and neck area.
An incomplete pass. Personal foul. Targeting. Number 11. Defense. The previous play is under review.
And that is great to see. Hal Presley up, throwing into, again, that coverage. We've seen this on both sides. Dean, defenseless player. I mean, is that not textbook? You launch forcible contact to the head and neck area?
Get out of the game. You have a defenseless player, can't protect themselves from that contact to the head neck. The defender leads with the head, makes the forcible contact. This is clearly targeting.
Yeah, we saw earlier, I was commenting earlier in the game about Chateau Reed in the exact same spot. And he came right through the ribs, right? And Micah Pittman, I mean, that you have to change your strike zone.
Yes.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Number 11 has been disqualified. The penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot and an automatic first down.
And it'll give Hankins a chance at a 44-yard field goal.
And it will move Gilman out of the game in the second half as well. Yep, Kyle's face says it all. Like, we could hit like that 30 years ago. You can't hit like that today. You've got to change your strike.
Hankins had the last one blocked. This one is on the way, and Baylor is on the board right at the horn. Much needed, some momentum for the Baylor Bears, who will get the ball out of halftime. 23-3 Utah. We'll check on Cam Rising when Allison comes back from halftime. Mike, Emmanuel, and Chris on the State Farm Halftime Show right now.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. Utah swarmed Baylor, and here are your first half stats. All Utah so far, 23-3. But top of mind here at Rice-Eccles Stadium is Cam Rising. The great first half, but then his health.
Yeah, it was just flawless. Really, the first quarter, they could do no wrong. Andy Ludwig just putting him in positions for success. The touchdown pass to Mekhi Bernard down there, and then showing off the legs. Don't tell me I'm 25 years old and I battled a bunch of injuries and knee injuries. And then this was right before half, final drive there. Mekhi pushes Rising into the coolers there. Our own Dean Blandino said, listen, that extra shove should have drawn a penalty, and you could see Cam looking at his hand right away, and his thumb. We'll try to get some kind of update from Allison Williams. Haven't seen him quite out yet, and that meant Isaac Wilson goes into the game as a true freshman. And we know that playbook goes from here to about there when a true freshman has to handle an Andy Ludwig system.
If you're Baylor, how do you do this first drive, and how do you come back in this game?
You've got to find some answers. You run 28 plays. You're 0 for 7 on third down. You've not hit any of your shots down the field. I mean, Jake Spavital told us, now I got to be aggressive. I cannot let Utah dictate. Well, they dictated terms completely in that first half defensively. So I'd like to try to find some way, and remember as well, a targeting penalty there on Utah at the end of the first half to their veteran safety Gilman means, well, more moving pieces on the back end.
Allison Williams downstairs, what do you have?
Cam Rising has not come out of the locker room here to start the second half, and head coach Kyle Whittingham did confirm with me that it is a hand injury and called him questionable to return. I'll also tell you guys I saw some blood on that towel he had draped over his right hand as he headed into the locker room. You guys felt it. There was a palpable difference in this stadium when Cam got hurt, and Coach Whittingham acknowledged that, but he said we have to rally around who is in there, continue to work. Just because he's gone, we cannot fold the tent. Isaac Wilson, he wants him to have command of the offense, exude confidence, and be a leader.
We will see them on their first touch. Here's Finn with a sling over the middle, incomplete for Monterey Baldwin, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, you just have to hit that. I mean, those are the kind of throws for Finn when you're playing this defense. And you can see the first 7 drives, including a sack fumble that set up the Utah touchdown. Yeah, the 2-minute drill got out a little bit, got a big play, got a penalty. But you've got to have precision if Jake Spavital and this offense are going to move the chains.
Only one pass play of more than 10 yards all day. Finn sees the pressure from O'Toole again, who is just living in the backfield. And he did get it back to the line, 3rd and 10, as Karene Reed is down and back up.
You're just going to see here, just once again, a little line stunt, an inside move there. O'Toole beats Basile. And it's hard to have precision when you're running for your life.
And that's why Baylor is over on 3rd down today. Trigg in motion. Here comes O'Toole. He was there in a heartbeat. Again.
He's just putting on a show, and this is just all speed. Not even really speed to much power. He just uses speed to blow by a Basile. These tackles, kind of like the quarterback right now, heads are just spinning.
That's a state title winner in the 300-meter hurdles back in the day. This is all power, as you said. Williams have a 76-yard punt earlier. And now Pittman on the return. It looked like he stepped out of bounds. He was down at the 45 for now. And so, here's the Utah offense. Isaac Wilson, all of 11 passes last week. The defense set him up beautifully here. And one last word as he comes into the ball game. What do you want to see from him if you're Kyle Whittingham and Andy Ludwig?
Yeah, and that last word from Mike Bajakian, who was also hired new this year. He's been in Northwestern as an OC. He's a QB coach. He's an analyst. I like that little conversation. I like what Kyle told Allison. Have command. You may not have the whole depth of scope and know everything you're doing, but if you just show it in poise and command, it goes a long way with the vets around you. We'll check with me.
To Bernard. The shimmy for 1 yard. He goes down with Keaton Thomas and Jackie Marshall with some pursuit.
And you know, if you're the spectacled, what do I say?
Spectacled.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Dave Aranda, you know what you're going to do against a freshman. You're going to heat him up. You're going to try to show him looks that you did not maybe show Cam Rising. You're going to get to a little bit more of your playbook and say, great, I get an 18-year-old, not a 25-year-old, so let my front move and shift and try to get to him like Utah has done to my QB.
There goes Stanley in motion. Throw it that way. Out of the backfield, Stanley, the sophomore, is into plus territory. Bobby took him down, third down. Get him an easy one.
Yeah, big third down here. And there is some of the communication into that headset, and I promise you, so he goes to his wristband, that the verbiage of this system is 3x what his spread system was in high school.
So how do you do that?
That wristband comes in very handy.
Zach Wilson's brother Isaac leading the Utah offense. 3rd and 5, it's a run. It's Bernard going parallel. He bounced off of Randolph, kept his feet, but then the white shirts tear him down, including Thomas.
Well, that was a nice job by Marshall and Randolph right here at the point of attack. Look at the two guys just get into the body of Fano. Look at the penetration there that doesn't allow that red storm to just get traction, and instead you punctured them. And you get a pretty big 3-and-out defensively.
Bomeister to kick to Cameron. Coming near side, and Cameron does fair catch it at the 7.5. Tough field position for Baylor. The Utah defense has been the unit of the day so far in Salt Lake City. Fox College Football is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect the stuff you love with Renter's Insurance. And by KFC. It's finger licking good. This is Rice-Eccles Stadium, but briefly it was named Rice-Eccles Olympic Stadium in 2002 when they hosted the opening and closing ceremonies of the Olympic Games here. And you know who lit the torch? The Miracle on Ice hockey team.
Awesome.
In 2002. I have a full list of who performed in the closing ceremony if you'd like to know. Now we'll go 1st and 10.
I'm going to guess you're going to chip O'Toole. Maybe help against this guy.
It's a 1st down run. It's Pendergrass into open space. And he's tripped up by Teo Johnson. Best play of the day for Baylor. It goes for 45.
And if you're not going to chip, then run right at him. Right, that guy's been a nemesis all game. And you see an awesome job there. I bet on pulling around there, getting right to the face of O'Toole and creating the lane.
And some pace here now for Pendergrass, just rugby scrumming his way for yard after yard after yard, and eventually stonewalled at the 40, but some toughness from Baylor here.
Kind of ready for that ball to just spit out like a rugby scrum.
Out to the side.
Kind of like the Americans did on the big explosive run at the end of the game to win the bronze.
2nd and 4 run. That will go for maybe 2. Fotu and Ritchie on the stop. Utah gets off the field as well as anybody on defense.
They do, and they play complementary ball, typically offensively, and it's why, well, they were second only to Michigan in the Power 5 of the number of plays they are on the field. 28 in the first half, so right on pace. But for Baylor, finally, to just impose a little bit of their will for the first time in this game.
Richardson, the tailback. It's another run, just power from Baylor, and a 1st down once again. Fotu at the stop, but too late. Move the sticks.
Well, that's exactly what it is. You call that a gap scheme. You block down, you pull a couple people around. Richardson unavailable a week ago, still not 100%, but going to be used in some of these situations.
Dealing with a hamstring issue. O'Toole trying to get there again. Finn feels him, and he just held it for way too long. It's another sack for the Utah Utes.
That is so good on so many levels. Some new pieces, right? No Gilman, he's out of this game. No Keenan Johnson, he's lost for the season from Morgan Scalley. Caught up with him before the game, and I said for Finn, is it the same way you approached Caleb Williams? You don't want to run by him, right? You want those ends to come out with their hair on fire, but not ever run past him And they're a great job by O'Toole, by Fillinger to just stay at the same level and give him no room to run.
Just kind of hem him in, basically,
yes.
right?
Keep him in the cage is the language that they would use.
This a handoff for Hawkins, and he keeps his feet only to get drilled and still stay upright and finally get tackled. I mean, he was in a pinball machine there eventually, and Fotu tackled him after, what, 4 missed tackles?
I would say, Jason, that I know it's 23-3 and the stats are all one way, but Baylor's playing hard.
Yes. Well, the defense,
yes.
for sure, in the first half was. You said it at halftime, without the blocked field goal touchdown, this is a totally different deal. Probably have to have 6 on this drive, though.
A late sub by Baylor and an even later substitution here by Utah.
O'Toole came off. Bell in the backfield, fake it, and Finn on the run. Finally, some open space for Daquan Finn. Just open, clean air.
You know what? This is a great adjustment by Spavital because that speed option was not working. The fast flow was getting to it. They faked the speed option. They run a counter back. That's a good adjustment. Instead of Jake Spavital saying, well, take speed option out of it. No, if they are covering and Morgan Scalley's fast flowing, then we're going to actually counter back to that and get the first 3rd down conversion of the game.
Reese the tailback this time. Flip it to Monterey Baldwin. Running behind Yates, and that is gummed up and finished off. Smith Snowden stands over him, and it's 2nd down coming up.
How often over the years have we seen these safeties come out of nowhere? Vaki, Bishop, right? And they just fly. Once they know it, once they see it, they react. Now 9th play of the drive for the Bears, by far their best of the game.
Gotta have points. 2nd and 9, and that collapsed immediately.
That's just dead on arrival.
Pendergrass had no chance.
Oh yeah, Pendergrass, and watch, there's 2. There's 2 for 1 here. This is a read. But there's no way he could pull it down. Smith Snowden is right in the lap of DQ as well. DOA.
Trigg, the tight end, in the slot left.
They want to use that big guy. Feel like he's a matchup maker.
It's a run for Finn. That's going nowhere. He is hog-tied by Fillinger.
Sheesh.
Van the man.
I mean, these 3 ends are just 6'4", 255, 6'5", 250, 6'4", 252, and they are running
How
like
about
the wind.
How about the footwork to get outside
Sure.
off that after he stepped inside?
That's what happens when we play a lot of ball.
I'm going to kick it here. Wanting 3 from 40. Hankins, true again. Baylor gets 3. Utah still holds a 3-possession lead. Fox College Football is sponsored by Jersey Mike Subs. Be a sub above. And by Allstate. You're in good hands. For an update on Cam Rising, you see him there in street clothes, Allison Williams.
Yeah, Jason, so his day is clearly done. You can see he has a bandage on his right hand, on the 2 middle fingers on his right hand. They are bandaged and taped. For what it's worth, I mean, he's smiling. He seems to be in good spirits, but unfortunately, back in a role he became way too familiar with last year in supporting his team from the sideline.
See him talking to Brandon Rose, who got in very briefly in the Southern Utah game, but you don't know until after the game. Exactly what the prognosis will be.
And even then, you're not going to know, right? I mean, we walked through that a season ago with a knee. I mean, Kyle's going to say, yeah, he's got a finger or hand injury, and he's questionable, and nobody's going to know.
Yeah. Utah will have it when we come back. This week, we said goodbye to a true titan of the TV sports industry, Phil Garvin. His company provided television trucks for this and many other networks, playing a crucial role in sports broadcasting. Phil was not only a partner, but a generous friend to countless people in the field, leaving an indelible mark on our craft. Our thoughts are with his family, his wife Angela, his 3 children, and 3 grandchildren. They can dance here in Salt Lake City. You don't agree? Everybody says dance like nobody's watching.
Sure.
And I appreciate when people do that. Okay? Utah football. Isaac Wilson still a quarterback. Cam Rising done for the day. Play action for Wilson. The freshman loads up a deep ball and way too much on it. Coleman was the closest. Dorian Singer the intended target.
Yeah, and that is one, I think, over time, you're running the deep corner route there. He actually had the deep post route, and he had corner breaking off a little bit late. I like play action. And in these moments, honestly, I like a little bit of spread. I know they want to pound the football and do all that with Cam Rising out. But I think for a kid that played in the spread in high school, sometimes for Andy Ludwig, if you spread it and get those guys out of the box, you can clean the picture up a little bit more for the true freshman.
Trips to the right. Bernard the tailback, and this run is met right in the hole by Thomas once again. Everybody associated with the Baylor program we talked to, when you ask, like, hey, who's the energy guy?
Yep.
Who's a little bit crazy back there in a good way?
Yep.
He was the answer.
Yeah, the Florida guy. The one guy on the roster from Florida where they're just built different. Started West Virginia as a safety, went to junior college in Mississippi, came here as a linebacker, had a beautiful pick 6 a week ago. And Miranda, when he points out to kind of last chance to you, like, hey man, this is your chance to go make something happen. Thomas capitalizing on it big time.
Well, the way Dave Aranda said, he's trying to prove people wrong that he belongs at this level. As Wilson nearly got swarmed under and tripped up. Down he goes. Jackie Marshall had him first, then swept the leg.
Yeah, so what you're seeing is what I talked about earlier, and what you do to a freshman. You start moving, you start stunting, and look at the game inside here. A wonderful job by Jackie Marshall. Big, physical, 290 pounds himself, and he just kills the motor. You get to the legs, you kill the motor, and you kind of start to feel Baylor, defensively especially, even when Cam was in the game in the second quarter, starting to impose their will.
Yeah, Utah is a little bit of a car in idle right now as Cameron fades back to the 20-yard line. It's returnable. Cameron trying to cut up field. Connor O'Toole is there on punt coverage. Ball came loose, and they're going to blow it dead. They're going to say he's down. He says it's our ball for the Utah fans. I don't believe he's right, but he is everywhere. 23-6. All right, time now for our Aflac trivia question. Get help with expenses that health insurance doesn't cover. Since 1936, one head coach has won 3 different conference titles at the same school. Who is it? There's the question. I figure it has to do something with Utah. Kyle Whittingham has the chance to do that. They are the preseason favorites in the Big 12. His defense on the field here. Taquan Finn with a handoff on first down. Dominic Richardson moves the pile, and that's been happening quite a bit more in the third quarter than in the first half.
They found a little something here, and that is just running right between the tackles. Utah not loading the box, bringing extra people in. You gotta be willing to take 5.
This will lose a couple. Ritchie came up from the safety spot, and it's third down.
Yes, he did, and he did so in a hurry right here. I mean, it is the one thing about Morgan Scalley, man. You see it, pull the trigger and go. Like, do not do anything half speed. If you're gonna make a mistake, make it a full speed mistake. And there was no mistake about that one. And once again, a 3rd and 7, and these third downs have just been daunting.
Because of 8 tackles for loss for the Utah defense, it has been 3rd and long all afternoon. And another late substitution, so O'Toole leisurely heads off to the sideline. Baylor's got to use a timeout. When you substitute late on the offensive side, the defense can just easy chair it off to the sideline. That's the risk you run when you make the substitution happen.
And when you got a savvy veteran crew defensively that is prepped and ready for that, right? That you've got somebody from Kyle Whittingham and Morgan Scalley to sub in.
It's just got to be at reasonable speed. That was reasonable speed. All right, the answer to our Aflac trivia question.
Defensive guy, right?
I think so. Let's see. Gary Patterson, who was on staff at Baylor last year, might even be watching the telecast this afternoon. They had some battles, huh?
Oh, yes, they did. And I could read Kyle Whittingham's lips right there. I could often read Gary Patterson's as well with the officials. And he said, it's not our problem. Because I think the conversation's like, come on, get you guys, come on, run off. No, I'm not going to do that. They want to sublate. That's not my problem. We'll run at our own pace, and they're going to have to burn the timeout as once again Aranda back turn to the offense on the 3rd and 7, making sure that D is lined up for the next series.
Got to get to the 40. Keeper for Finn, and he carves his way for a first down.
That was a really nice job. Nice job by the center, Colton Price, a name we've not called an awful lot, but instead of just running right at him, you run a little read counter, and that time the big fellas get out in front. Play to the strengths. There is no question that Finn's strengths are his legs.
Richie once again, I mean, on to Quan Finn. He's talked about it before. His mom worked 2 jobs to make sure that he was provided for. His grandmother was in the picture as well, a great nuclear family in Detroit. But he said, look, I had to have grit.
Yep.
Like, that was the word he used. And this is as tough a situation as he's been in college. Second down, Finn gets outside of the contain, and he's a yard short of the line to gain. Zamaya Vaughn with the stop.
And that time, Richie, who is in position right here, he has got containment. You're going to see it. He has got to keep contained, but instead a really nice job at the mesh point there with Finn to be patient and ride it out. Even though Richie was there, the fake and the quickness out-leverage him.
3rd and 1, Reese into the pile, and he's stonewalled. Stopped by bodies, including Richie and Barton, and you got to go here,
Gotta
right?
Go. Don't even need that analytics book. Got to go.
And now the chess match.
I think you could read Morgan's lips. You got the quarterback. Going to have somebody absolutely accounting either at the 2nd or 3rd level to make sure they've got eyes on number 7.
Empty, 4th and 1. Straight ahead. He is there, it looks like. Depends on the spot. They will say first down coming. Let's see where they spot the ball just to make sure, but it looks like this will be a first down.
Oh, there's some of that grit you're talking about, right?
That's exactly it.
MLK High School there in Detroit. You're gritty. You're thick-skinned. You've played for 5 years. So even if it's 4th and 1 and there's 3 Utes, including Lander Barton, whose tackle I've got to run through to move the chains, does just that.
Finn sends it out wide. Cameron the catch and run. Cameron breaking tackles. Cameron into space. It's a Baylor touchdown. Cameron just slithered for 47 yards.
It was really cool here, Jay. This is the first of his career. This guy has blocked for so many others. He has been a punt returner. He's been a special teams maven. As it looked like the Bears are going to go for 2 here. And that time, it wasn't 1 Ute or 2 Utes or 3 Utes. It was 5. From right upon the reception for Dave Aranda, all the way to hitting pay dirt for the first time.
He's a walk-on until his redshirt year. Got a scholarship. What a big play. Baylor trying to get to 14. Low snap. High throw. No good.
Yeah, and you can see the frustration. That snap just killed the timing of it. Look at Morgan Scally, like you're right there. There were. You can see it. He's going to do a nice job, gets the first block, and that's all great. But I think the frustration's actually Trigg coming out with a nice block. The frustration for Morgan Scally is right there. I mean, you've got 4 Utes surrounding, and you never see that, Jason. I mean, you want 1 or 2, but you've got 4 at every turn, and he says, that's okay. I'm going to break that tackle. I'm going to make that cut. A beautiful cut right there. And show him why he's a pretty good punt returner as well.
They had 29 yards passing before that play, the Baylor Bears did. That was for 47 and a touchdown. He's a Texas native out of Cedar Park. Josh Cameron, and Baylor has owned this third quarter.
Really, I mean, it feels like the last couple quarters. Utah had, 151 of that in the first. It was just that early onslaught, right? Just spinning in that first quarter. Since then, these last two quarters, if this was a prize fight, they've won the last 2 rounds.
Money Parks, shy of the 20-yard line. Baylor's got all the energy. That's Coleman again. History in the making. Tom Brady makes his long-awaited debut in the Fox booth with Kevin Burkhardt, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi for a can't-miss season opener. Dak and the Cowboys, Deshaun and the Browns tomorrow, 4 Eastern only on Fox.
You know what he is,
Tom?
Correct.
Yeah, that's his whole thing.
Absolutely.
That's what made him what he was, and I'm just excited to see what it looks like.
Yep.
Because you know he's got tricks up his sleeve. Bernard, the tailback. There's a flag down. Might be on the motion. Let's see. With a formation for now, it's 9 going on 10 on the carry.
I think that's going to be on the formation.
Illegal formation. Offense. There were more than 4 players lined up in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. First down.
There has been a stunned silence over this stadium since the injury to Cam Rising.
Yep, you're going to see is Andy Ludwig's trying to figure out what to get to. He's on the ball. Once he goes in motion, there is nobody on the ball. Only 6 on the ball, needs 7. And again, that's where maybe a veteran, may be able to kind of see the formation and see that it's not set up quite right. But there is no way a true freshman is going to be able to do that. Going to count on his guys to get right.
First and 15 for Wilson. Get him an easy one to the tight end, Brant Keithy, with his first catch of the afternoon.
Number 80's got to get involved more in the final 15.
They're just going to try and hold off Baylor right now. This is a hard-charging Bears team.
Great stash.
Baylor is still standing. Like the mustache.
Smile and let your voices ring from the mountains to the heavens. In a moment of loudness, exuberance, and joy.
Just moments ago here at Rice-Eccles Stadium, the moment of loudness for their former fallen teammates Ty Jordan and Aaron Lowe. And this place is so emotional when that happens. In the middle of the football game and all of the intensity that goes along with it, it is hard to keep a dry eye here.
Yeah, it's just a perspective changer, right? Of just how you've got to just appreciate every day, and they still love and appreciate those that they have lost. Team comes on the field, they all gather together, an emotional sport.
It is 3rd and 7 for Utah. Baylor on the comeback trail. Isaac Wilson to throw. Free runner coming. He had to release it, and he got it there for the first down. Money Parks wheeling down to the deck finally, just short of the 40-yard line.
That's the best play the number 11's made in his career, because you know this is coming. You said to me earlier, can you feel it? Connor O'Toole hits you between the shoulder blades in a second, you don't, but you feel that nickel pressure coming. You know you're going to get hit right after you release the ball, but a perfect strike on a 3rd and 7 they had to have.
That was Simpkins coming loose for Baylor. Run it to the outside. Mekhi Bernard stumbling past the 42.
It's just amazing what that conversion can do. Right, when you just land that shot, when you just get a chance to get a first down and get going again. And Baylor, who has, and you see this in basketball so much, Benetti, right? You see these teams that are clawing back, expending energy, right? And you get a big hole and you expend all that energy, and then is there enough left in the tank in the end? Conversions like that can zap you.
Is there one more run in them is the question we ask in basketball. Play action, rolling to the side of Money Parks. Wilson the throw that direction, and it's incomplete. Coverage for Jenkins, who's been flagged for 2 interference calls today.
That's his best coverage of the day, though. And a nice job when you roll to your left. That's not easy for a right-hander. Nowhere to go, blanketed in all fronts. Maybe, just maybe, you run in that situation, but a nice job to get outside. And now, once again, one of these money situations.
For Parks, or just how important it is?
For all of them, including whatever front and blitz Dave Aranda can come up with as well.
Stanley the tailback. Pittman is checked in as a wide receiver. It's way high for Singer. That's just a miss. Can you go for it? You can't go for this. He's staying on the field. No. Wilson is, but he knows. Yeah.
He knows. You've got to trust your veteran all-conference punter to pin them back, and that's when I watch practice Thursday, man. Cam Rising just does not miss.
No.
And that's 7 years, right? Again. And for Dave Aranda, that's exactly what you want to do. Keep that guy between the tackles, make him process between the tackles. As you see once again, that's Sam Heward talking to Cam Rising there about this offense. And a third down that he would have hit.
Cameron back to receive. He just had the touchdown. He won't have a chance to return this here. And he lets it bounce into the end zone. Baylor gets a break. Bears will have it. More than 12 minutes to go. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. This was all Utah through a quarter and a half. Then suddenly the injury late second quarter to Cam Rising. The air has come out of the balloon, at least for the offense for Utah. Can the defense hold up against a churning Baylor offense?
And look at that number. First 3 completions, 29. The screen thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Thanks to Mr. Cameron's 5 broken tackles. Went to the house. Yeah, I believe like an hour or 2 ago, we're talking playoffs. Playoffs?
Everything can change in a New York minute. Finn rolling to his right, throwing to his right, and that is incomplete and really dangerous into traffic. Lander Barton.
He can move. Gosh, is the NFL going to love Lander Barton like they have his older brothers as well? I mean, look at number 8 right here. His eyes are all over it. And he nearly came up with a critical takeaway right there. 6'4", 240, and he runs.
Second down run, Pendergrass just trying to pick up a couple to make it third and manageable. Third down at about 6.5.
So here's a little chess match. Can Morgan Scalley keep Finn in the pocket? Can he make him process? I'm going to guess a little bit of zone. I don't think you necessarily on 3rd and 7 need to heat him up. Make him play in the pocket. Advantage Utah. Get out and create versus empty. Advantage Baylor.
The ends just came inside Fillinger and Fauno, and they'll run inside and be greeted immediately by one of them, Van Fillinger. Yep. The ends came over the ball.
Yep, you could see that.
And Finn's down.
Yeah, so you're referencing these are the ends. They started outside. They come into those A gaps. Just a totally new look versus empty. And Finn looks like he just gets rolled up upon a little bit as well.
Tafuna had him first. Fillinger came after. And Daquan DQ Finn is down for Baylor.
Yeah, it's hard for running backs to run between the tackles.
Yeah.
Right? Big guys like Pendergrass, 220 pounds, and You see Glover and Mitchell, Bernard. I mean, Finn is slight. They list him about 200 pounds, but he is willing to put himself into that contact, and he has a bunch today.
See Finn holding that right wrist and flexing the hand. We saw on the sideline Sawyer Robertson, who threw all of 5 passes in week number 1. He's a transfer from Mississippi State.
He is a tough cookie now, too, and he was the Gatorade Player of the Year in Texas.
And guess what? Dave Aranda feels like minimal possessions means you got to go for it here with a new quarterback in.
Or do you just try to draw him off sides?
He's being very demonstrative. Oh, he's going to throw. Now, marker comes in. That may have made the decision for them.
Prior to the ball being snapped, false start, number 72, offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Center Price.
That's right in the middle. You talk about being demonstrative. And you could just see a little bit of a flinch there. There was no movement by Utah at all. And they were going to go for it, but you'll see the big man right in the middle, just a flinch. Just kind of almost a double snap, and it forces the punt.
Glover back to receive.
Sheesh.
Williams, another boomer. Man, oh man. Scrimmage was the 20. That's going to be like a 79.5-yard punt. He hit the pylon too, so not only did he hit it hard, but he's closest to the pin as well. There is a marker down. And there's holding against Utah.
Boink.
From any distance, let alone 80 yards.
He punted that from his own 5.
Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. Utah hasn't lost a non-conference home game since 2011. And you say, Jason, but they're both in the Big 12, so this must be a conference home game because Utah went to the Big 12. Well, this was scheduled before the conference realignment, so this is officially a non-conference home game, even though they'll both be in the same conference. And the offense for Utah has stalled out since the injury. Williams in motion, Bernard the tailback, and it'll be a short run. Baylor able to load the box here. Trey Wilson on the stop.
Yeah, I think what you have felt really since that first quarter is the strength of this Baylor front. 6th year, 5th year, 6th year transfer. They have loaded up, and they've got some guys now. I mean, Baylor's got a lot of talent all around them there in the state of Texas. Jackie Marshall and Randolph, and these guys have done a nice job. Noel's played a really good game. Matt Jones has come to life a little bit, and there's a look at my as well. 295-pound edge play. This is a physical front, loaded with a lot of veterans.
So both tight ends in motion there. It's another handoff, and it's Bernard crashing in to Matt Jones. It'll be 3rd down and a marker in back at the 12.
Holding, number 68, offense. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
5th-year center.
And that's Noel again. We have seen Noel create 2 of these. The conversation this week with the offensive line coach Jim Harding was tight hands. And you're going to see come right in the middle of this, and a lot of it's because of the energy and juice of Noel. But you got to have tight hands. You got to be inside, and once those hands get wide, look at, they are outside the frame, and right here was the obvious hold. Some bodies are blocking, but that umpire behind, he's seeing it very clear. And put another gold star by Noel. Doesn't show up as anything on the stat sheet for him, but that's 2 holding calls he's created.
Leading to a 2nd and 13. For Utah, trying to hang on. Bernard galloping through the hole and finally cut down across the 20 by Bobby. First down, Utah, gain of 15.
And that time, just not as many bodies, right? It's 5-on-5. You have seen Baylor put an extra hat in there a time or two, but that time, a body on a body, and finally some grass, finally some space. Beautiful job there to get to Matt Jones, the middle linebacker. And Bernard, Mr. Versatility, whatever is asked of him at any time in his career here at Utah.
He's never been the alpha back,
nope,
but he's always been in the room.
He's been a corner, he's been a safety, he's been a running back. He just has done, like so many here in Salt Lake City, whatever the team requires.
Bernard, one sidestep, a jump cut, and he'll get to about the 28. Ma'ai with the stop, and maybe this is one of those patented Utah sap the clock drives.
That was a better job by Fano and Mokafisi. Keeping those hands in, driving those feet, just getting a body on a body and allowing, whether it's Glover, Bernard, probably those two bigger backs in this kind of game as it's playing out. But look at the girth, man. Again, look at the size of Baylor. Not easy to push around.
And behind that line right now is Mike Mitchell, who, based on the injury he had earlier, nobody expected him to come back into this ball game, and he throws his shoulder into Jones and Thomas. First down.
I think it's okay to say this. We didn't even show the hit.
No.
Because we thought it was that bad.
Yes.
I mean, it was one of those like, yeah, we're not going to show that one. And yet to come all the way back, and that's the benefit of youth sometime, and certainly flexibility and strength, and it's a couple big boy first downs right there for Utah. Like, enough's enough.
Yeah, like, what are we, basically,
Yes.
is what this line said.
Yep, put it on us. Don't put it on this 18-year-old true freshman that enrolled in April. Put it on the veterans to move the pile.
Right back there, the freshman Mitchell for a couple of yards.
Ooh, and that was a nice job by Fano. Again, a Mokafisi. You know I enjoy. I sent, I think, early to you in the week, right? That tape of Mokafisi.
I think you watched more tape of Mokafisi than you did anybody else.
I think in my, next football life, I'm going to be a guard. There's just, and he just has a joy in playing. Yeah, he didn't get to his linebacker, but gets enough early movement. But we watched him against Southern Utah. He's running down the field, patting the Southern Utah player on the helmet. It's okay. It's okay. Like that guy, and they always seem to have him at Utah. Somebody within the line just is the straw that stirs the drink, and Mokafisi is it this year.
From Woods Cross, just north of here, as Bernard lays on the pile, and Ma'ai, it'll be third down. But this is the drive that Utah has not had in the second half as yet.
Nope.
And it's everything we saw in the two clashes 2 years ago with USC, right? A little bit of sleek versus strong.
Yep.
And this is what wore down the clock and the Trojans that year.
Well, even a year ago, right, when these two tangled down in Waco in a very close game, and Utah was having some quarterback challenges, and what are we, and what's our identity, and finally kind of pounded the football on a way to winning a much closer game.
Because of a Cole Bishop interception late to set up the winning touchdown. It's Bernard. The O-line cleaned house for the senior. Bernard inside the 30. It's a gain of 30.
They sure did, and Sugataranga as well, right? So you just bring beef and watch them wash this down. There's the inside run blitz. You're trying to get into that gap. They wash it down. And then, yeah, Spencer Fano, Sugataranga, Mokafisi, all of those guys. And then the one-on-one. Bernard's going to win in the open field and gets the big, man, what has this been? All run? Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run.
That's your Pacific Life game summary.
And remember, it was Sugataranga that was carrying off Mike Mitchell earlier in this game.
They'll go with the sophomore Stanley this time. If Baylor, this is why Dave Aranda was thinking about going for it before that penalty, because he may have had a sense that a drive like this was either coming or at least possible.
Yep. And the defense that we talked about was expending a lot of energy to close this gap. And
what's the play selection?
I said run, 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 run. 9 for 72, and I bet maybe Kyle and Andy just had a little conversation to reinforce that.
think you had 10 in there.
I apologize.
By the way, well, this might be the 10th coming up. We'll find out. There it is. Run number 10 in a row.
Got my Romo years ago, just calling it out.
Okay. Stanley sets up third down.
Yeah, this guy's got a lot. He's a computer. It's got a lot of bits to it, but he's gone pretty analog here. Pretty old school, and I don't need to use a lot of juice. And right here, you're probably just a little reminder, take care of the football. If this is a pass, if this is play action, and also, don't take a negative play.
It's a 7-minute drive. A field goal makes it a 2-touchdown, 2-extra-point game. And Baylor is running out of sand in the hourglass. Bernard cradling it with both hands, as you said, as he goes into the wash. And we'll see if Baylor uses one of those 2 remaining timeouts.
I heard the old Seahawk running back, Penn State QB Mike Robinson. He would talk about this. Sometimes you just got to run in the darkness. Like, there's 3 or 4 guys there, and you're just going to take one for the team, and you're going to run into a collision.
Timeout Baylor, 1 left. Coming up next on Fox, Baseball Night in America, a huge one in the wild card race and the AL Central. Bobby Witt Jr. and the Royals against the Twins, or the White Sox take on Rafael Devers and the Boston Red Sox. It all begins next on Fox. Check your local listings for the game in your area.
The Tigers are fighting. Gritty.
They're fighting.
Tough, just like DQ. Fighting.
Okay. 13 innings last night.
Dave Miranda's guys fought today, honestly. That first quarter, I think there's probably a little fear and worry, like, uh-oh, is this happening again? Are we just not being able to compete against a lot of teams, and certainly the upper tier teams a year ago? No, he wants his guys to play hard. He wants them to run through faces. He wants them to play fast. In fact, Jackie Marshall this week said, man, I just want to play green. What's green? Fast. And that defense, albeit against a true freshman quarterback, but even Cam in that second quarter, they responded. And there was no question about their fight.
They're within 11 right now. Becker from 43 to make it a 14-point game. So he missed it right again. He did. Wow is right. 1 timeout plus the 2-minute timeout left for Baylor, trailing by 11. Well, that hash mark has been treacherous so far today. All right, here's today's steady performance, sponsored by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865.
Yeah, just some miscommunication there on the timing, and you leave Connor O'Toole totally free. That 300-meter hurdler is going to come bearing down on you. An enormous sack fumble, once again showing off the speed, playing to the noise in this building. And oh, by the way, covering punts as well.
Yeah, he's up top of the formation right here, coming to the face of Finn, who gets it away for Trigg, and that's a good start to this drive.
And if you're a Baylor receiver here, you've got to do all you can. Just the 1 timeout. It will have the 2-minute timeout. If you get a chance to get out of bounds, get out of bounds. It could serve every second.
Especially when we close to within that 2-minute mark. Finn on the roll after the injury previous drive. Here's Cameron, and it's a first down Baylor.
Yep, obviously clock stops. Excuse me, it does not stop, as you said, until that 2-minute.
Yep. But it's good practice, as you're saying, to make sure you do that when it does give you the opportunity. So first down for Baylor. Finn, another throw. That one's high. Trigg got his hands on it, and it's incomplete.
It was an incomplete pass. It's second down.
Maybe he had a shot. It's still coming down. Never got the foot down.
No. You can see how deep the Utah safeties are. Keep everything in front of them.
So you'll take that. The cookie goes to Trigg, and he just goes banging around. I mean, he ran right into Peppa. It'll be third down.
You gotta go. Let's go.
Third and 2. Rush of 4. Fillinger off the spin move. It's a throw near side. Trigg again. He stood up by Vaughn. Clock will move.
By the way, if Triggs' arms look long, they are. That is a 84.5-inch wingspan. Luka Doncic, 83 inches. Jason Tatum, 83 inches. Massive.
Oh, man, Utah just used the substitution to its favor in a big way. There goes Fillinger. They're going to try and bleed it down to the 2-minute timeout, and just barely Baylor gets it off because of the substitution, and this sails incomplete. That is just time you cannot afford.
Nope.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
2-minute timeout at 1:57. Utah trying to cling to this lead against Baylor. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. Mountain West Pac-12 titles. Utah trying to add at their facility a Big 12 title at the Spence and Eccles Football Center. This is a non-conference game, but it's against a conference opponent because it was scheduled before realignment, and the defense trying to hold up here against Baylor.
I think you just play zone. You just cut it loose with that front four. You keep everything in front of you and do all you can to keep Finn in the pocket.
On second down with 1 timeout remaining. He felt the heat one more time. Stays in the pocket and spins it out wide. That's a backward pass.
Sure is.
That's going to be out of bounds at the location where it went, and scrimmage will be right there.
That is so good by those edge guys, man. It is hard. You want to get home. You want to sack, but that is discipline from Fano, discipline from Fillinger. We've seen it from O'Toole. You stay at the same level to keep that guy in the pocket and just maybe create a mistake like that.
With 2 freshmen in the middle, Leah Aya and Vakalahi, 3rd and 14. Finn rushed, incomplete, 4th down, and the ball game coming for Baylor. What does this look like?
I mean, you don't deviate, right? If you're Morgan Scally, you 4 affect the pocket and beat the 5, and I'm going to have 7 back there to cover the 5 eligible out in the route.
Here comes the pressure. He gets it out wide. It's Reese, and he is down. No shot. That'll be the ball game. Teo Johnson in space with the stop.
Yeah, you can't throw, and that's where that negative play, unfortunately for Baylor and fortunately for Kyle Whittingham, really sealed the deal. Once that becomes a 3rd and 14, not with this team speed defensively, just not going to throw it 2 yards deep and be able to move those chains.
Yeah, with the 1 timeout left, that's the ball game. Utah can just sit on it a couple of times. It was a game effort from the Baylor defense in the second half.
Sure was. Those guys played really hard. And defensively, with Dave Aranda calling it, they're going to be good. Yeah. They're going to be a tough defense over the course of the year. Just buried themselves in that first quarter.
Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years.
Man, that first quarter felt like an eternity ago because it was big play after big play. It was Money Parks there. The Connor O'Toole sack fumble that just set Utah up for success. Once again, about as easy as it gets, the easy pitch and catch to Bernard. Wonderful job by the 2 big fellas, the 2 D ends, and a great explanation from Dean Blandino, a high 5 on what turned out to be a significant play.
Yes.
At the time, it just felt like add-on for Kyle Whittingham. In the end, that was an enormous 6 points.
There will be one more kneel down after this. What the Utes look at, with or without Cam Rising, is a big in-state game against Utah State in Logan. And then Stillwater. They rolled up some points down in Stillwater today. That was a 70-point combined affair in double overtime.
Yep.
First foray into the Big 12 for the Utah Utes, and we'll find out after the diagnosis of Cam Rising. But the Utes have been through this so much. Last year, 8-5 with all the injuries, searching for quarterbacks and running backs, and Cam waving to the fans with 2 taped up fingers. Utah's going to win this thing. We'll see what the cost is. 23-12 the final score for the Utes. Downstairs, Allison with Kyle Whittingham.
Coach Whittingham, when I talked to you at the end of the first quarter about what was working offensively, you said simply Cam Rising. When he left this game, how did things change for you guys?
Well, we sure didn't get much going. It was nice to that second before last drive when we made 3 or 4 first downs. That was crucial. But we can't leave points out there. We're missing field goals, we're missing extra points, or not getting them off. I mean, sloppy game on our part. Baylor played well, and we had a lot of things to address.
You did find a way, though, to hold on and secure the win. So it's always nice to address those issues after a win. What was the key to getting it done?
Defense, absolutely. Defense smothered them. I bet they didn't have 250 yards of total low. Have to look at the stats. But our defense played well. Scored on defense, essentially, with that blocked field goal by the defensive block unit, which was a huge play in the game.
Can you tell us anything more about Cam's health going forward?
Not right now, but we don't think it's serious. That's all I've been told, so let's hope that is the case.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kyle. Jason?
Allison, thank you. He's right. 223 yards is what his defense allowed today.
It's just identity, right?
Yeah.
When Cam is here, you know what the identity is. He elevates everybody around him. They're a playoff contender. Without him, they just got to scrap and claw, and they're capable of doing that as well.
Always a pleasure to share football with you, partners. See you next week up in Oregon. Our final score here goes Utah's way, 23-12 for our entire crew. Bo Garrett, Darren Foster, everybody in the truck. For Allison Williams, for Brock Heward, I'm Jason Benetti. 23-12 the final score. More post-game coverage from Los Angeles right after these messages.